to Val di Fiemme for the final of the Tour de Ski, the last day today, the climb up the Alpe Cermis that is growing in reputation as the years go on. This is the 5th running of the Tour, and maybe for the first time someone is about to win it 2 years in succession. Justyna Kowalczyk of Poland, an astonishing Tour so far, has put herself in an immensely strong position. She's 2 minutes and 8 seconds clear of Mariana Longa. Now, Mike, let's have a quick look at the profile. It is brutal.
It's quite amazing for the 10th day on the 8th day of racing. This is well, there's a little climb after the start, then you see the descent down to the base of Alpe Cermis, and 407 meters climb in 3.2 kilometers at the very end of this race.
That's a little steeper than 1 in 4 by my reckoning. That's the final stage. Now we pick it up. Apologies for the slight delay. Everything running a little bit late this weekend because of the weather. Warm winds sweeping across the Alps, causing havoc in Johaug, and of course slight delays with the Alpine. Here is the race leader, Justyna Kowalczyk, out on her own. Mike, 2 minutes and 8 seconds at the start, her advantage. How much ground do you think she's covered before the second run at Mariana Longa set off?
Well, she's a long way out. She's got to be, what, some 300 meters? At least, maybe more, before Mariana Longa is going to attack the...
Well, maybe even more, because what are they taking? The women are now down to about 2:45 for a kilometre.
We're looking half a kilometre.
We're looking half a kilometre plus. Now, these little dots give you some idea. The first is the yellow. Kowalczyk working along from left to right as far as you look at your screen towards the bottom of the Alpe Cermis. Longer in second place. And TdS Johaug of Norway. What a fabulous run from her yesterday.
She said she felt so good. How can you feel good after so many races? But it works for some, it doesn't work for others. And I think TdS, starting 5th today, will make her way. In fact, I'm just going to try and confirm that. I think she's up to 3rd already. I was going to say she'll make it up to 3rd, 3:21 behind. She's chasing Follis, who's 2:33 behind. Surely she hasn't caught her already.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if she's caught Ariana Follis, who started 2:33, TdS Johaug 3:21. So that would be a 50-second gain. Unless, of course, very late on, Ariana Follis has withdrawn from the race. There is a chance, but no news has come through on through to the commentary positions as yet. We'll confirm that just as soon as we can.
I think that's just one of the Norwegian coaches getting himself along the track.
Getting into the right position. And 36 left in the women's tour. And all heading towards the toughest ski section of the season. Good to see, Mike, that Kicking Randall at USA, she's made it through to the last stage. There's Mariana Longa wearing 2. Looking very smooth and comfortable. Doesn't look as though she's pushed the pace. Kowalczyk in her pre-race press conference saying, I'm going to take the first 5 kilometres slowly, save some energy for the last 3.7.
So that's interesting. When we watched Kowalczyk coming along this very section here, which Longa is on, I have never seen her ski in the skating technique so efficiently, and that's because she's so relaxed. She said she would take this bit easy, and well, Longa's only gained 1 second, and Kowalczyk's so relaxed at the moment.
Yeah, that's something we were talking about the other day. The actual effect, if you think you're skiing at 90%, you can often be going faster than if you try and ski at 95, 96%.
So true, and for me, certainly the first time Kowalczyk looking relaxed. Well, it is still Follis in 3rd, but I know it's a huge challenge for TdS to pull back 50 seconds on Follis, but I think she can do it. In fact, here she is already.
TdS Johaug leading the way. She's got Petra Majdic for company. Majdic has paid a very high price for skiing so hard in the sprint events, Mike.
Talking about price, Patrick, I'm thinking of Johaug. Instead of 5th place, 25,000 Swiss francs. 3rd place is 50,000. She can double her money by getting up into 3rd place.
Do you think she's thinking about that?
I think it will be in the back of her mind. I mean, yeah, I mean, she's feeling good. She just wants to move up as far as she can. That's her feeling today.
Charlotte Kaller, of course, the winner of the Tour de Ski back in 2008, and she put in a very good climb time, under 36 minutes for this 9-kilometre leg. And, well, it's not going to be her year this year. 3:40 behind at the start of today's race. The 23-year-old Olympic 10-kilometre champion just needs a bit more sprinting power to compete. back to Val di Fiemme. The athletes working their way from the town centre towards the bottom of the downhill slope known as the Alpe. And already Kowalczyk has gone through in 8:37. She's still got a 2-minute 7-second lead over Mariana Longa, so Longa has only closed down a second at the moment. Ariana Follis, after initial scare, is on the course. No very late withdrawal from her. 2:29 behind, having started 2:33, so she's made a little bit of ground. Maybe wants to challenge her teammate for that second place. And TdS Johaug, 2:58 behind now, having started 3:21. That is a phenomenally quick start. Who is the best hill climber of those leading five?
Well, in my opinion, it's TdS Johaug. Partly because of her very light frame or light body weight, climbing up those 400 metres.
She's sort of thrown caution to the wind here, hasn't she, Mike? I think she's going for bust, trying to get on the podium, and she knows if she wants to do that, she's got to work hard in the initial stages. Everyone else affording themselves the luxury of cruising to the base of the climb. But if you blow out on the climb, you're going to lose 2, 3, maybe even 4 minutes.
So much if you go over the top, and we have seen that in past Tour de Ski final stages. Those, and certainly in the men's race, we've seen a huge attack into the base of the hill and then out of energy by the time you're halfway up.
Yeah, it really has been an outstanding tour for the race leader. Here she is, just coming towards the bottom of the climb. I think she'll be just trying to relax her mind. Mike, she won the first stage, the prologue. She won the second stage, the pursuit. She won again stage 6. She finished first in stage 7. And here she is leading the way up the climb. You can't take anything away from her, especially because her sprinting was so good as well.
She's done everything right, and she's going through fatigue as well since day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. But she's just so focused. And her journey on these tours, I think she was 17th the first time, then 11th, then 7th. And of course, she won it last year.
Now, you're a bit of a technical wizard. Steep climb, long, prolonged steep climb. Any change in the technique from your normal cross-country course?
I think especially a climb like this, I suppose almost like Lance Armstrong would say on hill climbing on the bike, a very high cadence is much better than pushing heavy gears. So short, sharp tempo, keep the flow of energy. I think that is the secret for attacking this hill.
And the tendency is, as you get tired, to lean forward, try and get the arms to do more work. In fact, you want to do the opposite.
Yes, it's difficult when the legs are so fatigued, but yes, you want to keep the hip bone as far forward into the hill as possible. And that is the best transfer of energy up the slope rather than down the slope.
Yeah, so get the hips forward. Those who look as though they're standing nice and upright may be moving a little bit quicker. The yellow dots representing 3 of the main contenders today. Kowalczyk is the yellow. A long way clear. That is a 2-minute gap between herself and the red dot, which is Mariana Longa. And Longa, she's done well this year. She finished down in 8th last season. She'll enjoy the climb. And here it goes. She's one of the lighter figures as well.
Sorry, partner, just getting used through. It's very surprising. Anna Haag hasn't started. She's lying 7th in the tour. Prizes are at stake. World Cup points are at stake. For 7th place, she picked up 144. She must be, well, very unwell.
That must be a health issue. Disappointing for Anna Haag because she had such a good day. One stage for the double pursuit, beating her teammate Justina Charlotte Kalla across the line on that occasion. It was a tight race, but Haag looking good. And of course, Haag proved herself at the Olympics last year, so we know that in the future we're going to see something pretty good from her.
Do you know what, Patrick? I think that TdS Johaug now has a chance of catching Mariana Longa for a potential second place. It would be a miracle. In fact, there she is.
Yeah, Johaug absolutely flying, and she's living by the Armstrong mantra of keep the tempo high.
Well, look at the contrast. Follows in the background. There she is, TdS Johaug. Almost twice the tempo, but she always is high tempo.
Well, she's skiing as if she believes she can win this. It is an absolutely astonishing feat so far. She's left Petra Majdic behind. I don't think there's any surprise. This isn't really the sort of course that Majdic likes.
It's not, and I think Petra Majdic, her technique as well, she admits it herself, it's not a strong point. Classic is her stronger technique.
Do you think they'll ever have a classic climb up the Alpe?
Hey, that would be something, wouldn't it? Difficult for the waxing. It would be almost a herringbone run most of the way.
Well, I have to say, the tour has been fantastic this year. No complaints amongst the athletes. Everyone enjoying it. Of course, the sprinters would like more sprinting. Those hill climbers would like more. that's only natural. But what really pleased me was to hear Johaug saying this is still a young baby. We're learning, we're changing, we're developing it every year, and that development will not stop this year. So we can expect a few more changes next year. What would you, Mike, as we watch Charlotte Calder go through the first intermediate at 5.6, what would you like to see changed for next year's Tour?
I would like to see, when you look at the Tour this year, those who are winning are picking up most of, if not all of, the bonus seconds in the distance races. The 20 kilometre for the men, the 10k for the women. Peter Norton picked up a minute and a half. Cologne picked up a minute. Taking them away, I think the Tour would be more exciting. Take those bonus sprints out. You would need something to keep the pace strong.
Okay, well, let's have some sprints, but have money as the prize rather than points.
Quite possibly, then you would not see the gaps. You wouldn't see the gaps that we're seeing now at the front. Good point. Now, you were talking earlier about making this an uphill race followed by a direct descent. I think that's a great idea as well.
Well, that would certainly even things up with Kowalczyk. She would not like to descend down here. Now, look at this. Johaug on fantastic form. This is really astonishing skiing. She's gone straight past Ariana Follis, and Follis is no slouch. 37.01 Follis's time on the climb last year, and she's one of the world's best. She's been in the top 5 of the World Cup rankings for the last 3 seasons, and TdS Johaug has just blasted past her. It will be interesting to see the response from Follis now.
Well, I was amazed Follis didn't react instantly. She just thought, let her go, and I wonder if Follis is thinking that Johaug's pace is too much, that she might burn up. I don't think so, but maybe Follis is hoping for that to happen.
Well, you've also got to remember that TdS Johaug had an incredibly hard race yesterday, racing alongside this woman, Justina Kowalczyk. Surely that's going to take its toll.
Wow, incredible. I mean, she really is. TdS Johaug focused on second place. Well, look at that. She can feel second place now.
Yeah, but she hasn't really got to the steep part of the climb. So this wonderful tempo that we first saw back in 2007 at the World Championships in Sapporo, where she took medals in the 30 kilometre. We know the tenacity of the woman. We know that she will collapse before she stops on this climb. But every human has their limits.
This is amazing. You know what? This is the most viewed race in cross-country skiing, the women's and the men's, this climb. And she was famous already in Norway, but with this incredible move forward, they will be watching.
Just 2 negative signs. Not that I'm trying to put the dampeners on Johaug's performance. One look over the shoulder to see what Follis is up to, and then constantly looking up to see what's going up in front. Is this not about relaxing, getting into a rhythm, keeping that tempo, trying to block out everything that's going on around you?
I think when you look at the best athletes, you're right in that zone where they're only focused on themselves. But maybe TdS is just thinking, I've got to throw all caution to the wind to try and move into second place, then get into that incredible zone.
Just checking the time. Majdic now exactly 59 seconds behind Mariana Longa, and she started exactly a minute. So no gains from Majdic on the leading 2 at the moment.
Come to Trentino, where the best snow meets the best Italian lifestyle.
Welcome back to the climb of the Alpe. It's the most spectacular of the cross-country races, but ironically it's the slowest of the cross-country races that we will have all season. They are skiing up a downhill ski slope. Some call it a black slope. It's more like a difficult blue. And they've now got to the steeper section where they start to wind, Mike, so they're not going directly up the climb, as we see Johaug now just 19 metres or so behind second place, having started in 5th. And the other bit of news, Mike, is that Johaug has caught 1 minute, 5 seconds on Petra Majdic. She's only got to catch another 2, and she could move into first place.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kowalczyk up the front, her tempo is nothing like Johaug's, and her pace is an awful lot slower than Johaug.
Now, is Kowalczyk going to get any news as to what is going on?
I think that her coaches, and she's got plenty of advice up this mountain, they will be telling her that Therese is on an amazing charge.
Now, this is where it's difficult, because she has to really keep it going. She needs to get past Marianne Longa. Longa somewhat obliged to move to the side and let the Norwegian through. Look at the work rate, 93%. Somehow I think the race organisers knew that this woman was going to be pushing harder than anybody else.
Do you know what, Patrick? I'm surprised she didn't ask for Marianne Longa to move out of her way. She's entitled to do that. She had to go the long way round, which frustrated her. But Marianne Longa probably couldn't hear if she did shout track.
We're looking for a winning time of around 37 minutes. That would be good. We had 35.52. You can hear the oxygen debt that Johaug is in at the moment. The lungs start squeaking. There is not enough oxygen getting into her body. If she can keep this going, it is a matter of willpower over physical limitations.
Well, what I'm thinking, if she's working at, well, which she is, at 94% of her max right now, she's got almost 20 minutes to cope with that level of pushing. Can she make it to the top? I think she can.
Well, she's certainly skiing as if she's going for first place, Mike. She's already gone from 5th to 2nd. There will come a stage, because I think Kowalczyk will just keep plugging away and hold on to the lead. There'll come a stage where Johaug has to think about defending 2nd, and that's a completely different psychology.
It is. We can't see it at the moment, but it has Longa tucked right in behind Johaug. I don't think she can stay with the pace. Johaug is just on a mission to close the gap on the leader now.
7.4, another 1,600 metres of climb to go for Justyna Kowalczyk. Technically,
huge rotation through the shoulders, Patrick, and look at the head, it's flopping from left to
25,
right. You cannot criticise it, because this hill is impossible. It's so steep.
The other thing to look at is the ski as it makes contact with the snow. If it glides instantly, you know they're skiing well. A lot of them, the ski will stop and then they'll push it away, and that is going to make life very difficult.
I'm surprised that Justyna hasn't opted for slightly shorter ski poles today. You can see how high she's placing her hands in relation to Johaug.
Yeah, Johaug's still going very well. The tempo is right up there. The work rate we know at 93, 94% of maximum. She's kept it going from the outset. There was no question of taking the first 5 kilometres easy. Remember, she started 3 minutes and 21 seconds behind Kowalczyk, coming up towards the 7.4.
I'm sure all the Italian spectators would have expected an Italian 2nd and 3rd place today.
Well, it still might happen. It might happen because Johaug has taken a risky tactic here.
Oh, this is a brave attempt. She really is closing the time now on Kowalczyk. It was 3 minutes and 21 seconds when Johaug started.
Now, one thing about Johaug, Mike, she's not got a lot of muscle in the upper body. The arms are going through the motions, but most of the work is coming out of the legs.
It is indeed, and look at how central she keeps the head in relation to where we saw Justyna. Now it's beginning to really become steeper and steeper.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of response there from Marianne Longa. May be sensing that the Norwegian having a spot of bother. Another look over the shoulder from Johaug. She's still got 1,600 metres to hang on in there, and we'll get an exact time to see what she's made up. 1:47 behind, having started 3:21 behind. That is phenomenal. 1 minute 40 already gained on Justyna Kowalczyk. She's only got to do the same again, and she'll be in business. But she is running out of time, and she's running out of climb. Now, Longa was overtaken 4.5 minutes ago, and in that time, Johaug has opened up a gap. Well, it's you can see it for yourselves. 1:47 to 2:14.
And Longa is a very good skater, and the technique is very good. The way she's keeping her hips so far forward, good angulation from ankle to knee to hip.
Here's a technique you see most often in club races, not at World Cup level. What do you want to call this one? Herringbone skate?
Alternate skate.
Alternate skate.
Alternate skate, but it's quite efficient, and you have to go into this mode when the muscles won't keep pressing in the skate 1 technique.
Well, we'll try and update you on anyone else who's making progress. The cameras, of course, staying with those at the front of the field. They need the cowbells, they need the cheers, and the Italian's lucky enough to have a lot of home support. Here is Kowalczyk skiing as though she knows that someone is on her tail. Of course, whoever records the quickest time up the climb, Mike, picks up the 50 points for the World Cup.
Yeah, a lot at stake. Justina's looking back down the slope. Look at those long poles.
Now, this is the battle between Petra Majdic and Charlotte Kalla. Kalla is slowly closing, but it is very slow progress indeed. I think both of these athletes struggling a little. That is a longing look to the top of the climb. We all know about that. There are plenty of false summits on the Alpe. She just has to stay strong, stay focused. 3:43 behind for Majdic. She started 3:08, so she's lost over 30 seconds to the race leader. And Charlotte Kalla was exactly 19 seconds down on Majdic at the start. 33%. That is as steep as the average staircase.
It's amazing. It hurts so much when you're trying to keep your momentum up these steep sections.
Forward from Kowalczyk. That's good discipline, Mike. She's not getting much glide out of the ski, but at least she's managing to get the foot in front of the hips.
It's quite amazing. I think all the spectators trackside, they can't believe that anyone can actually ski up this steep slope.
Well, this is the best crowd we've ever had on the Alpe, and all credit to Johaug, Vegard Ulvang, whose brainchild this is. And I think it can only go from strength to strength. And they're looking forward to next year, Mike, because no Olympics, no World Championships. The Tour de Ski is going to be the highlight of the season.
It is, and I hope that we see Marit Bjørgen coming back into the Tour de Ski. She's sitting at home wishing that she was competing. Just the next two best movers down the pack. It's in fact Jakobsen, there she is. She's just moved up one position, but she's taken 20 seconds out of Kowalczyk.
Kristoffersen of Norway also through. Norway leading the rankings as far as the teams are concerned in the Tour de Ski. Italy in second, Sweden in third, Finland 4, and the Czech Republic in sixth. Poland, who are going to have the race leader, all the way down in eighth. It's pretty much a one-man band.
At this stage, Patrick, this is nearly, 30 minutes of racing. The quadriceps, the main muscle group in the legs, are almost cramping up. They can barely react.
Now, do you think Johaug has made that switch, Mike, from chasing first to finishing in second?
Not yet. There's still a fight there. She still thinks if anything goes wrong or if fatigue hits Justina Kowalczyk, then she will always keep fighting till she realizes it's not possible.
Kowalczyk's time last year for this exact route, 36:14. Of course, the snow conditions aren't quite the same. It was a little warmer last year. Officials trying to keep the supporters off the tracks. Everyone getting into it. It's turning more like a stage of the Tour de France. And this is exactly what they want. In maybe 2-3 years' time, the hill will be lined from bottom to top. And all they need to do is have a good party at the top of the climb at the end of the day.
They'll need food and drink after all this, and after 10 days. Just looking, Patrick, the biggest margin of a lead we've seen on this section was in the first Tour de Ski. Verpi Koitinen beat the rest of the field by 1:17. I think that TdS Johaug, she's absolutely suffering right now, but I think she's going to beat that margin of win. She's just checking her pulse watch, and she might be alarmed, but she's still over 90%. Couple of easier sections there where you switch back. It's just too steep to continue going up.
Only 24 seconds separating the top two finishers in the women's Tour de Ski last year. Kowalczyk ahead of Majdic. Now here comes TdS Johaug. Last time we saw her, Mike, she was what, 141 or 147 behind?
I think it was 141. I'll just confirm that.
She has closed it again. That was at 6.5. 7.4 in fact, 7.4, 147 was the margin, so she's taken another 16 seconds off. It is a staggering achievement from TdS Johaug, now with 1,100 metres to go. Is she safe in second, or do you think she can still blow it?
I think she's now safe in second. TdS could almost back off now, she won't, but look at the... I was going to say the sped forces, the two Italians just not able to keep the pace.
Yeah, as you said, Mike, what a reputation Johaug is going to build for herself today. All credit to Justyna Kowalczyk for the all-round effort. But the last 2 days, Johaug has proved herself to be the fighter that we thought she was back in 2007.
Oh, she is such a fighter. And that's where I think we mentioned earlier what might change. Maybe all these bonus seconds that, for example, Justyna Kowalczyk won yesterday. She won another minute in bonus seconds. Sorry, 45 seconds. Take that away, and this race would have been so close.
Well, maybe we can do a little mathematics and work out how many bonus seconds Kowalczyk has picked up this week compared to Therese Johaug, and then find out second for second who has been the quickest skier. Of course, it does complicate things because if you don't do well in the sprint, you miss out on a whole lot of racing, and that is one area where you have to have the bonus.
And sadly, that's where Therese Johaug missed out on the potential for an extra minute bonus because she didn't even qualify in the top 30 to make the sprint finals. So she didn't pick up even one bonus second compared to Justyna picking up some 47. And I think 22 in the other sprint race.
Yeah, well, I can confirm that because Johaug has picked up a total of 40 seconds of bonuses, and Kowalczyk's picked up 40 seconds in just about every leg. So she is leading on the back of all the bonuses. Yes, give them to her on the sprint, maybe reduce them on races like yesterday's and put some other incentive in there. A nice big financial prize for doing well. Through the last of the banners, and now it eases off a little, back into skate 2. How she's got the strength to do that, and the balance and the determination. I think Kowalczyk now is safe and dry. 24 seconds last year. It should be a slightly bigger margin this year.
But I think we've got the Justyna Kowalczyk from day one has almost led this tour, and she hasn't lost her focus at any point. She is absolutely amazing.
Now, if Marit Bjørgen had entered, who would be first to the top?
Do you know, it's so difficult to say, but the focus that Justyna gives, and there she is, going to take the victory.
10 metres to go, and Justyna Kowalczyk becomes the first person to defend the Tour de Ski title. A phenomenal 10 days of skiing. She won the prologue in Oberhof 10 days ago, and all she wants to do now is sleep.
That's so much pain. She's just tucked up. And you don't offer, you rarely see her showing such fatigue, but that hurt.
Well, it's emotional as well because of the physical outlay and the mental outlay of the last 10 days, 8 races in 10 days. Now, applause for this woman because this is the most staggering climb of the Alpe we have ever seen. I wouldn't mind betting that it's the quickest time we've ever seen as well. 35:13 for Justyna Kowalczyk. Remember, Johaug started 3:21 behind. She could be sub 35 minutes, and that would be the first person to achieve that on the Women's Tour.
Amazing, absolutely incredible from 5th, and well, not only 5th, but 3 minutes 21 behind.
Interesting, Mike, that many of those who were on very good form in the first 2 days of the Tour have dropped away. Johaug, perhaps at 80%, has come up to her very best form in the last couple of days.
Well, she deserves so much praise for this attempt, and she did miss out on the sprint finals on both sprint days, so a little more rested. Well done.
Wonderful finish. Well, financially, she will benefit massively, up to 100,000 Swiss francs from the 25. God. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. She's taken 2 minutes out of Justyna Kowalczyk on that climb. Amazing.
She's held a pulse rate only like 6% off maximum for the last 20 minutes. In fact, for the last 30 minutes.
Staggering. I wonder how Marit Bjørgen feels watching those pictures. She will not sit out the Tour. She says it's too much like agony watching everyone else race and just enjoying the atmosphere that has surrounded the Tour this year. Kowalczyk, Johaug 1 and 2. Italy should get 3 and 4. It's been a good race from Mariana Longa, but there was nothing to give when Johaug came past her. Absolutely no way she could up the work rate. Third place, she deserves it. Longa, who finished 3rd in yesterday's race, had a very good run down in Dobiaco in the 15-kilometre. Played it tactically there and benefited from the efforts of Charlotte Kalla. Today, well, it's been a solo effort, and she's managed to hold on to a top three. Started second, down in third now, 2:40 behind, some 32 seconds down on the time achieved by Kowalczyk, and a whole lot slower than TdS Johaug. But nice for the host nation to get a podium finish.
Oh, very, very much indeed. I feel a little for Ariane Follis. Skating maybe is not her strongest technique. She just could not go with TdS, and she couldn't close the gap on her teammate longer.
Yeah, third last year in the Tour de Ski for Ariane Follis. Certainly, she has to be happy with the way things have gone so far. Maybe it all went wrong initially. 17th in the prologue. It was an uphill climb from there, and it finishes with the worst uphill climb of the whole cross-country tour. Good run by Follis, but missing out on the podium finish, and you can see that in her body language. She's very, very disappointed. Good work by Longa. Email coming in saying, do you think Stefania Belmondo could have won the Tour de Ski? I think she would be a good candidate, but she would have had to have improved herself on the sprinting stages.
Oh, she would have, but it's certainly on the climb, Stefania Belmondo would have been amazing. And of course, they did have the Legends race earlier this morning at 10 o'clock. Torgny Morgren, Gundesman,
Was Annette Bow racing?
I'm not sure if Annette was.
She would have been a very, very tough competitor to beat. Norwegian from the late 70s, early 80s, going on into well into the 80s. Fifth place for Follis, finally getting ahead of Majdic. So, Kalla, 4:27 down, the best of the Swedes, former winner of the Tour de Ski, not as easy as it was in the early days. Take nothing away from Kalla, she missed out on bonuses in the sprints, and that really damaged her hopes. Majdic, Mike, second at the start of yesterday's race, now has to settle for 6th place.
And second in the Tour overall last year, 6th place this year. I think she'll still be satisfied. She's put in some very, very good performances, and skating up this hill, it was never a strong point.
Yeah, she knew she was going to pay a price for working so hard in the sprint events. She said it is worth the price to get back into winning ways.
And she was winning those sprints by almost 5 seconds, almost impossible.
Yeah, a word for Latenmäki, 8th place in her first ever Tour de Ski. She's a youngster, and she is without doubt going to be the next star of the Finnish team.
Marta Eldon from 12th up into 9th place.
Eldon started 6:24 behind, so she's gained a minute on Justina Kowalczyk. Not many people are going to be able to claim to have done that. Latenmäki started the day in 8th, actually, Mike, and so she's held on to her position, and pretty much exactly the same margin, just lost 13 seconds over the course of the 9 kilometres. That is a very, very good run from her. Jakobsen, I think, coming across the line.
Jakobsen, she started, she's faded a little bit at the end there, Patrick. She hit it so hard early on, but I think it just shows us the intensity which Justina has attacked her race. She didn't back off. She gave her absolute best once again, because those times in relation to Kowalczyk are very, very similar to how they started today.
Number 12, Marta Eldon, just having the timing devices now. How does Majdic look after all that effort? I wonder what we're going to see from her in the rest of the tour, the World Cup Tour. Is she going to be able to recover in time? She looks a spent force at the moment.
Oh, she does, but 10th day, 8 extremely difficult races. And it certainly didn't affect her last year. She came back good for the Olympics.
Riitta-Liisa Ropponen, the quickest climber on the hill last year in 35:52. Can't quite repeat that performance. Jakobsen holding her own. Ropponen holding her position of 11th. Coming in for the Ukraine. Shevchenko, always a good climber, and Shevchenko's had a very good performance indeed. Started 21st and has finished in 13th. She's 8:57 behind. In fact, she's only gained 7 seconds on Justina Kowalczyk, but I thought maybe she would be contending Johaug for the quickest time, but no, she's a long way outside that performance. Maria Rydqvist of Sweden started 8:25 behind. The effort just about finishing her off.
Just shows there is no backing off from any of these top-class cross-country skiers. They can take themselves to a level which isn't quite normal. You have to push through the pain barrier, then push a whole lot further.
Here comes Aine-Kaisa Saarinen. The Finns with a very good record. Koivunen has won the title twice, in 2007, the initial year, and then in 2009. Kalla won in 2008. Kowalczyk won last year, and she's won again this year. So still only 3 different winners of the Tour de Ski as far as the women go. And the honours shared by Finland, Poland, and of course Kalla from Sweden.
And this is in the far distance there. There was a wave of 20 athletes starting all 7 minutes behind. So, well, a lot of them have stuck together.
Good race with Aurore Gien and Cecilia Bourgeois, who started very tightly packed together, and Nikolova just beating them across the line. Nestorenko of the Ukraine, some way behind her teammate Shevchenko. And the reason the times are going up so fast is because they're taking into account their position before the start. As Mike said, they all started together, so that's why these positions are chopping and changing a little bit.
It's amazing, isn't it? The athletes are so conditioned to technique and holding good technique that as soon as they can relax, the legs can't even support them. It's collapsing across the line.
Johansson of Sweden not enjoying the climb one little bit. Number 32, that's Masiasek of Poland. Her teammate is on top of the podium this evening, as she has been many times on the tour already. Now, in terms of World Cup points, Mike, Kowalczyk leading at the start of today by some 71 points over Marit Bjørgen. Bjørgen, of course, not picking up a single point on the Tour de Ski. Kowalczyk's going to get a few points for today's race, plus the 200 for winning the Tour de Ski. Is that game over as far as the World Cup goes?
Well, it's certainly going to make Marit Bjørgen realise that in all the races left until the 20th of March, I think it is, she's going to have to be placing herself in the top 3. And that's really taking into account that Justina's going to have to be a little off form after this. So I think really, in all reality, it's going to be almost too big a challenge for Bjørgen to win the overall World Cup.
And do you think that's right? Do you think what you've got to do is ensure that the big names want to come and compete in the Tour de Ski? That's essential. But if it becomes, as it seems to have done, that the winner of the Tour de Ski is going to win the overall World Cup without a doubt, then maybe we need to reconsider it.
I think so. Maybe awarding slightly less points as first place, picking up the 400 and then the bonuses along the way. Maybe it is a little bit of an imbalance over 10 days of racing. Instead of looking for the best cross-country skier from November until the end of March, it does certainly spike the whole season.
Well, I guess you have to appreciate where Marit Bjørgen comes from. Firstly, she feels that this sort of racing is too intense for her, and she certainly doesn't want to suffer a form drop-off like we saw in 2006, but also the World Championships held in her home city in Oslo, and that, of course, is so important to her.
And it was the same last year, Bjørgen deciding not to come along here to race, and of course she walked away from the Olympics with so many medals, 3 gold.
And the same with the Swedes. Johaug didn't race, Kalla didn't race, and both of them picking up medals out in Vancouver as well. So it is such a hard program, the Tour de Ski, that it will have an influence on the rest of the season, whether you like it or not. Kowalczyk and Majdic both coming home from Vancouver with far less precious metal than they were expecting. Now let's have a quick look at the results. The top 6 there on the screen. Kowalczyk, Johaug, Longa on the podium, follows Kalla. in filth, and fifth further down, Marta Kristoffersson, good work from her, and Lehtomäki of Finland, really astonished by what she's achieved. She's a young skier, she's proved herself to be a gutsy one. Shevchenko, no sprinter, but she's a great hill climber, and she's had a good run today. Kicken Randall moving up one place from 22nd into 21st in her first ever Tour de Ski. But love to talk to her to see what she makes of the Tour de Ski programme. But it is Justyna Kowalczyk who's come out on top this year. Mike, your man of the match?
Well, definitely the athlete of the day is definitely Johaug, but the athlete of the tour, a lot of respect for Justyna Kowalczyk. She does nothing wrong. She keeps on fighting every day, and it's only that way where you can win over such a tough 10-day period.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see how they get on when the World Cup Tour resumes in Liberec on the 15th of January. They've really not got very long, 6 days to recover from their efforts here. Marit Bjørgen will be back in action. That was the finishing celebration of Teresa Johaug. My goodness, she deserves a party tonight. That was an astonishing effort. She didn't quite catch Kowalczyk, but she gave it an unbelievable effort. Well, that just about completes our coverage for now. Remember, the men still have to go through the same. I wonder if a few of them have been watching it on the telly and just thinking, my goodness, what have I let myself in for?
Can you imagine the nerves leading into this? In fact, Petter Northug was saying he just had a very early night last night, just wanted to totally relax. He doesn't think it's possible to catch Cologne, though.
Yeah, Cologne, the hot favourite to win the men's, as we have another look at the overall standings in the women's Tour de Ski for 2010-2011. An unbelievable event, very exciting racing, total domination by Justyna Kowalczyk. She has shown no weaknesses this week, and she walks away with the title for the second year in succession. Well, we've got a couple of moments, Mike. Your prediction on the men's race?
I really can't see anyone beating Dario Cologne. He's got such a lead.
Now, there you see the standings in the World Cup. 1-2-7-1 for Kowalczyk. Bjørgen has gone from first down to fourth. Astonishing, considering she hasn't picked up a single point over the last 10 days. And now she has to resume battle with all of those who've exhausted themselves over the last 8 races. And it's going to be a very interesting affair. She needs to be as dominant as she was prior to the Tour de Ski. Well, that's all we've got time for now. Do remember that the men will be in action a little later on today, and they're racing over exactly the same course. Dario Cologne of Switzerland is the man who's built a lead of over a minute over Petter Northug. Hope you'll join us for that, but for now, from Val di Fiemme and the Tour de Ski, goodbye.